Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Beyond measure.
I'm gonna show you how great I am. Last night I cut the light off in my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark. I'm gonna show you how great I am. Only last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
What is happening, everyone? I look a little loud here. Can I adjust that briefly? Well, I think I found the setting to where it's not auto-adjusting my volume for my mic. Well, no, it still is. Oh, I hit apply. That's why. So, well, no, it still just jumped down. Like I'm overwhelming the sound card or something. Just bear with me for just a second, guys. I would like to get this figured out so I don't have to keep fucking dicking with it. It annoys me. It's not fair to you. It looks like it's pretty balanced there, so we're just going to leave it. Hopefully I won't be down to a whisper by the end of the episode. I will try to watch it, but I got to figure this out. Anyways, guys, behind on the beer pouring as well. I'll get this figured out one day. A million years. Oh, this will be a nice head though on this beer. Looks good. Cheers, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. You watched my video yesterday, saw how pissed off I was that X decided to lock my account for a week because I told crusty old Carville that he just needs to die already. Of course, that was mostly in jest. I won't miss him, just being honest. But, yeah, you know how algorithms can be. So, a caveat to the video I did yesterday, I'll always be the first to admit when I fuck up. They do have an appeals process, so I mischaracterized that yesterday on my special report. I was pretty drunk too. That's new. But I didn't find it that bad, to be honest. See, I got a message here. It's probably from Jen, so I'll just read it, what she said. Let's see. Oh, hell. Laugh out loud. In Twitter's defense, you probably should have phrased it differently. Maybe I can't wait until I never have to think about you again. Wink. Okay, let me see if I can make this work. I agree with you, Jen. I could have worded it differently, so thank you for that. Cheers to you, Jen. It was pretty harsh, guys. Like, I could see how it comes across the other way. Yeah. So I get that. I get that. Send her some heart hands here. I don't know if this is showing up on the feed. No, it's not, because I don't have the... Oh, that's supposed to be showing up. Anyways. Tonight's topic, after my shameless plugs, get the shirts, get the glass on jds2cents.com. That's all the time I'm going to spend on that tonight. I open for the next foreseeable future, unless something else blows up politically, which there's a good shot of that happening, the way this election cycle is going so far. July was crazy, right? Golly. But I really want to just open with, I'm going to start with the Bill of Rights, First Amendment today, Second Amendment tomorrow, Third Amendment next day, so on and so on, until I get through the first 10. Then I'm going to go into the actual body of the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. I'll probably do Declaration of Independence in between the Bill of Rights and the Constitution body, and then wrap up with all the other amendments that have passed since the Constitution was ratified. That's what I was looking for there. So, I hope people will be interested in that. If not, it'll be on record. It'll be out there. My D-Liver's here. My trusty D-Liver. And you're alive. I know you're alive because you backed out when I was doing sound tests. So I know you're there. So, cheers. I'm glad you're alive. I got this awful, I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, oh man, I hope this person wasn't watching me and they just sat there and croaked in their chair and have just been on D-Live ever since. That's my twisted brain at work. So, glad you're alive, Mr. D-Liver, whoever you are, even if it is the FBI or the deep state, which you never know. You never know. What's the X-Files music? That's what I need to play there. Anyways, guys, I'm still trying to get back in the swing of things from the weekend. I worked all weekend. Not all weekend, but I had some fun. I played my video game. I like to play Farm Simulator. It's like my Japanese garden with the rake in the sand. Check it out. If you like harvesting and planting and seeding and all that, it's a fun game. Addicting as hell, actually, for me, for my personality type. Anywho, Jen, if you are watching, trying to get into the space, I don't know, the space is open, guys, but I don't know if Twitter will let people in since my account is locked. And this is annoying as hell. I set all this up earlier, and now it's not showing up. And there it is, bad. So the space is open. You can see it here. Space is open. Is it here now too? No. Bear with me. Guys, I just set this all up earlier. Now, of course, it's not showing there. Okay, so we got the X space. It is open, but my profile may not be showing up to people to get into the space. So that's sort of what I'm getting at. Let me know if that's the case, Jen, if you are watching and listening to me right now. Other ways you can view right now live: YouTube, DLive, and Rumble. So the other three options. Hopefully this only lasts a week and not that long. I did submit an appeal. They're probably not even going to get to it in time. X is super short-staffed right now. How I know that is because I signed up for subscriptions since I have at least 500 followers, and it's been like over a month. Premium finally got back to me and said, oh, well, we'll get around to it when we do, basically is what they told me, because we're really busy. Oh yeah, I get it. You're short-staffed, like the DMV. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it. So, let me jump into what I wanted to talk about, the First Amendment. And basically what this is going to be, guys, every night is just my 2 cents on what I think it means. Doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. Be half right, half wrong. I want to hear your 2 cents. Comments in the chats. What do you think? What do you think it means? Also, it's just good to go over this stuff so we know what our rights are. I will say this, especially with the Bill of Rights, I think the founding fathers, they were very smart individuals. I think they wrote it with the average Joe like me and you in mind, or the average Josephine in mind. Meaning that it doesn't have to go through a bunch of scholars so that we know what it means. If you're interested, so I will go full screen here now, which also isn't loading. Go. If you're interested, so this is constitution.congress.gov. I'll just go ahead and copy that link for you guys. Oh, and I have two screens, by the way. I totally forgot to mention that. So it's really nice. I got a $20 special at the local thrift store. It's working great. I had to pay just as much in the cables to get it working at Walmart, but hey, 40 bucks, great spend. And it's a really nice monitor too. An older Dell monitor, but flat screen, and it's going to do the job. So it's nice that I can not have to bounce back and forth so much. Anyways, so get this. This is the address I'm at right now. This should load. Let's see. Let me see what this does. Just want to make sure. Yeah. Okay, good. I had it highlighted earlier. That's why there was all that garbage in the URL. Okay, let me plop this in the chats for you guys, and I'll plop it in the X chat, even though it's probably not even working, since I'm locked for a week. It was good timing though, because I owe them money, $22 for my Premium Plus subscription. So I'm gonna be like, fuck you guys. I'm gonna pay you after you unblock me. So I got that going for me. It's a little more. But I'm still hitting yellow on the bar, so that's good. Sound mixer. Okay, enough of me just sitting here rambling. We're 12 minutes in. I haven't said a damn thing that's worth anything. So let's get over here. First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. God bless our founding fathers. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Now let's pick it apart. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. What's that? To me, what is that saying? If you want to worship rocks, or a rock that you pick up outside, and create a church and have a bunch of knuckleheads gather around and worship that rock, you have every right to do that. That's how I read that. Again, guys, leave your 2 cents in the chats and the comments. Call in 720-72-CENTS, 720-722-3687. You can leave text there too. You don't have to talk to me live. You can leave a voicemail. However, if you do call in, anything is fair game. If you do call in, I'm going to air it. So, just know that. Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So once you have that church that worships a rock on the ground established, the government can't come in and be like, no, you can't do that anymore, even though we let you for 10 years. So it's saying that you can do what you want to do when it comes to religion, within reason. I mean, you can't start a sex cult where you're like raping people. You know, that's not cool, right? Like, not just not cool, evil. So there are boundaries to this, obviously. As long as you're not harming another human being, you can establish a wacko church if you want. That's just completely off the wall. And if I had to guess, the reason they did this was we got to remember they came out of England at a time where the church and the state were like this, and it was super corrupt. Super corrupt. The king and the pope were in bed together. Not literally, maybe literally. Yeah, that's a nasty thought, but figuratively for sure. Where they were just taxing the crap out of people, not just the government, but the church too, through, what was that called? I forget, it starts with an I forget the name. But just totally corrupt, totally evil. So our founding fathers were like, we're going to put it right here, the very first thing we put, for the rights of the people. You get to worship whatever you want, however you want, as long as it's not harming others or doing harm to others, right? Or abridging the freedom of speech. Notice how this is just its own little section here, okay? We haven't heard this argument yet. We'll get to it in the Second Amendment because that one's a little more tough to decipher as far as what the intention was of the Founding Fathers, just the way it's written. But this is its own little section, which means the freedom of speech for all U.S. citizens, and we have to remember this too. Inalienable rights. These are inalienable rights, which means they came from God above. This is to limit the government from trying to take the rights that were given to you and I by God. So this doesn't just apply to United States citizens, but all mankind everywhere that's ever existed. Think of it that way. Now, obviously, being a citizen of the United States, we directly fall under it. But again, these are rights that were given by the Creator, what they're saying. So, I have the right to say anything I want to say, as long as, I'm not actively seeking to harm somebody with my speech. Does that make sense? We've heard this stupid term hate speech for, decades now? A couple decades now. And that's just a direct attack on this First Amendment. They want to try to say certain speech, if it's hateful, well, I can sit there and I can spew hateful speech. And this is the reason I had an issue with X last night. Me saying to James Carville, just die already. I'm not inciting violence against James Carville there. I'm not saying to the masses, hey, go dox him and kill the MFer. I didn't say that. I said in jest, basically, just die already, bro. Like, just get off this planet already. But again, I want to read what Jen said, because this is pertinent for what we're talking about. She said, oh hell, laugh out loud. In Twitter's defense, you probably should have phrased it differently. Maybe I can't wait until I never have to think about you again. A softer approach. I get that. So, I think I actually... I didn't post it. That's weird. Okay. Anyways, thanks, Jen. You are right. I could have phrased it a little different. And that's what friends are for. You know, you're a good friend, Jen. I appreciate you. And anyways, so that directly applies to what we're talking about, which is good. Just get my chats back up, just in case anyone does chat in. Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty basic, I think. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't say something. Unless unless it incites physical violence against another person, everything's on the table. Another thing, and I'm following this account now. bringing the word faggot back. Okay? A lot of you are going to disagree with me. And that's how brainwashed we become as a society. Oh, how dare you say that word? People liken it to the word Nigger for black people. It's a completely different thing, guys. Black people did not get to choose to be black people. That's how they were born. That's how they were naturally created by Almighty God. And they have equal rights under the law, just like I do as a white man. Okay? I do not have a racist bone in my body. I could care less what color your skin is. I really could. As long as you there's really good people in every race that do great things. There's mediocre people in every race that just do their 9 to 5 and get by and provide for their family. And then there's shitheads in every race that make every race look bad. It's just how it is. Okay? And of course, as humankind, we've affixed names to all of those shitheads, which leaves a stigma on the race in question. I'm not going to name the names here because it's pointless and it's a waste of time. You know what the names are. Why faggot is different? It's unnatural. Men were never supposed to be sleeping in bed with other men or whatever they do. Women too. You're not supposed to be doing that shit. The fundamental reason for that is God intended a man and a woman to get married and to procreate and create a strong family unit called the nuclear family. That's directly what that's attacking, so I am proud to use the word faggot. Put these guys and girls back in the closet where they belong. It's a lot better than the alternative from the Old Testament. In Old Testament times, they used to drag people out of the camp that were openly homosexual, and they would stone them to death immediately. So I think we've come a long ways in humankind. So dovetailing back to the First Amendment, that is protected as free speech, is what I'm getting at. I can say that, and it's going to piss a lot of you off, but it's still protected speech. And everything you have to say back to me, as long as you're not inciting violence against me or others that view this topic the way I do, then it's protected free speech from your end as well. What does that foster? Open debate, learning from one another. And when we learn from one another, we grow as a society. What do we see that's happening now? We're collapsing as a society because everyone thinks they're right, and I'm just going to block you because you're an asshole. In my eyes. That's why I don't ever block anyone. Like, whatever. Unless they became like a physical threat to my existence, I will never block anybody. Never. Someone wants to come into this channel and sit there and say, hey, blah, 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 and just like totally troll the channel and make it really distracting for everyone, I'll mute you, but I'm not going to block you. I'll mute you, and I'll mute you, and I'll mute you. I'll keep muting you, but I'm not going to block you, okay? So anyway, it looks like Jen, this is probably Jen from X, on Rumble. So Jen, my Rumble chat is separate from DLive and YouTube. That's why your chat didn't show up. And it just showed up as a, I don't even know if I could screenshot this, or it just showed up as a square, like a blank square. So I'm thinking you sent an emoji, like heart hands or something. Let me see if I can send an emoji back. Red, white, and blue hearts. Well, a black, white, and blue heart. I hate it when emojis do that. Why do they do that? This one should, no, that's another black heart, even though it's supposed to be a red heart. There we go. That'll work. Sparkly red heart. Okay. So, Jen, if you're still here on Rumble, I just sent you that chat back. So, chat back in. Let me know if you can get into the X space or not. If it's the same Jen, it may be a different Jen. That may just be a super coincidence. I doubt it, though. Yeah, it's her. Okay. Those were heart hands. I thought it was heart hands. That was a good guess. Heart hands back to you. Cheers. Apologies for me being such a emotional, needy douchebag the past few days. I'm learning. I'm learning. You're a good friend, and I'm going to cheers you again. You're a good friend to still be here and hanging out with me and finding other ways to chat. I appreciate it. I don't know if you heard. I aired your DM earlier, what you said, and I agree with you. I could have been more toned down, but I was like three to five sheets into the wind already. I have a lot of sheets. I'm a big ship. Wow. Did that show up on the mic? my belly's got some reverb. Anyways, I've been goofing off this entire time. I'm already 27 minutes into the episode. Hey Jen, were you able to get into the X space or not? And what did it say? I'm just curious because it lets me open an X space, which is weird if my account's locked. Oh, by the way, I will be posting all of these episodes on X once I'm reinstated. So, anywho, and I'm pretty much almost filled the entire episode. I need to wrap this up. I don't want to rush though either. So, I just want to see if Jen says anything else. Jen, you have the floor. There's a little delay, obviously, but I'm trying to get the computer going so I can call. Listening, though, until then. Okay, cool. I'll hang out then, Jen. Yeah, just let me know when the computer's up. I'll keep going on the First Amendment here. I do have my D-Liver watching as well. Thank you for engaging. I really appreciate it. Still getting used to these two screens, guys. My muscle memory keeps clicking out all my chat stuff, even though I don't have to do that. I just have to move to the right and get over here. Okay. So yeah, I think we beat freedom of speech to death. Or of the press. Okay, so this sort of goes together. What they're saying here is you can't abridge freedom of the press either. Okay, so how this reads to me, or abridging the freedom of speech, or abridging the freedom of the press. Does that make sense? This is why our press, even though they are completely bought by communist Marxists today, even if they're not personally practicing it in their personal lives, they are Marxist communist cucks because the Marxist communists have given them a lot of money through backdoor channels or even front door channels, giving them a job and be like, talk about this shit. And if you don't, then you're fired. So I'm not going to give these people any leeway. I'm not going to sit there and hold their hand like it's totally evil what they're doing to take a political stance and to set up a branch of government is what they've done. They're supposed to be completely unbiased. If there's any part of the Constitution that I wish the Founding Fathers, just looking at our current situation, would have tweaked a little, it might be this. To say that the press must remain unbiased, or else they could face governmental intervention at that point for not being unbiased. Because what it is a monopoly of information at that point. It's controlling people's minds. And we see it. A lot of us scratch our heads going, how can people possibly vote for Kamala Harris or Joe Biden? Well, it's because of our unhinged press that are completely left at this point. And there's a lot of people watching them and believing and regurgitating what they hear in the news. But it's not news. It's just all propaganda at this point. So, yeah, like I wish there would have been some protections against propaganda, I guess, or some laws passed at some point. But that's a dicey road, because that can quickly go the way of the government infringing on the press's freedoms. Founding fathers were a lot smarter than I am. Hey, buddy, you want to be on camera? All right. It's my sweet black lab, Iggy. Hey, buddy, what a good boy. What a good boy. Already went out. Just want some sugar? Got food? You got water? He's being happy. Look at that smile. What a handsome smile. Love you. Okay, anyways. So, I think I said what I had to say there. If you have any 2 cents to drop it in the chat. Call in. Oh. So you're trying to call in, Jen? If you are, I'm a dumbass, and I forgot to set up my phone on OBS. Should be coming through my phone though, to let me know. 720-72 cents, 720-722-3687. Yeah, so let me just get that done quick. There we go. Hold that down. Tie it into the OBS. Wait. Done. Why did that make it my background? Hold on, guys. Sorry. There's something weird going on here. I thought I shrunk that way down. I did. So why is it showing up? Ugh. Is that annoying? Okay, got that back. What's this attached to? Stop it! Oh! Oh, screen 2. Maybe that's why. Okay. Should be attached now. Maybe. Guess we'll find out. Jen, if you can try calling in 720-722-3687, see if that works. I'll have my phone handy too, just to see. Okay, let's get back after it here. I will hang out a little longer. If you can't get on, just let me know in the chat, Jen, and we can try another night. I do appreciate you being here. I don't want to cut you off if you have some stuff to say. Okay, what else? What else? I think we know that the X space does not allow anyone to come in the outside at this point. Okay, or of the right of the people to peaceably, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble. So this doesn't just mean, to me, assembling to redress the government, which we're about to get to. It's a little separate. Okay, Jen is calling in. Let me see if it's showing up here. Oh, where is it? Hey, Jen, can you hear me?
Yes. I am having so much trouble with Rumble. I don't understand.
I can barely hear you though, which is not
Okay,
cool.
hold on. Can you hear me now?
You're coming through on desktop, so just go ahead. What do you have to say?
Rumble's bugging me. It has so many ads, I can't watch your thing on there and call you at the same time, so I had to back out of it to call.
On Rumble?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
have to figure it out. It's my first attempt at it, so I'm having issues.
Gotcha. Well, sorry about that. YouTube's probably
That's okay.
friendlier. Uh, YouTube, CommieTube, as I like to call it, it sucks on censorship, but as far as being a nice, clean platform, I mean, they still hold the
Right.
keys on that. So, yeah. Anyways, hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Sure, I'm doing what I can to figure it out. Pop in whenever I can.
So, what happened with the X Space?
I didn't get a chance to look at that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to know if people still could even see that. Probably not, because it won't let me post or anything right now. So that's probably what's going on, is they're just shadow banning me on the back end with Xbase. Which is whatever.
Yeah, you'll be back in no time.
Yeah, I'll be back. It sticks in my free speech crawl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any. I haven't gotten a notification saying that you were live. So.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
And that's why. And honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of traction on X. Actually, last Friday, though, I did get 2 viewers for a brief second. So, a little bit of progress.
Hold on.
And then I shot myself in the foot. But hey. So I don't know how much you... Go ahead.
Might actually be working.
I mean, I think I'll find my audience eventually. It just takes putting a bunch of content out there for people to see. Boosting my followership.
It is working. I can get it on Twitter.
Oh, okay. So can you get into the X Space?
I listened to it for a second. I took the... no, I can hear you there.
Yeah,
but it must be still acting.
I don't show you in the X Space. It just only shows my icon.
Okay. I wanted to say, when you said about unbiased news, there was a law until fairly recently, I believe, and well, recently to me might be 1980. They got rid of the law for the news to be unbiased.
Really?
Nobody ever put it back. Yeah, I was reading about it just a couple days ago.
Hey, if you can find that link for me, DM it to me, and I'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'll look for it, because I can't remember who did it. If it was Obama, if it was Reagan, I don't know. I'm all confused right now. But there was an actual law that required news stations to. It was called the fair reporting law or something like that, and it required, if you were a right-wing station or a left-wing station, it required you to devote equal time to the other side's views. Whether you agreed or not, you still had to devote equal time.
That's very
There's
interesting.
a local talk radio station here, and I told you about that in my whole journey to try to get noticed by them. But I heard the guy on the radio talk. Maybe I'll call him, because I have his number, and find out what this was called. He was saying that at one time they had one host who would do all left-wing, that they would have a balanced thing.
Yeah, and I mean, there's stuff out there called opinion, and so I remember back in the day when there were newspapers. Remember newspapers? And there was always the news, which was like 90% of the paper, and then you had a little section of the paper called the editorials, which is opinion.
Yeah. If you like pina coladas. Those are the personals, not the editorials. Sorry.
Right, but there's a space for that, or there used to be anyways. Now it's all editorials. It's all opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more news anymore.
Absolutely.
And it's
We hear people on the
absolutely
left all the
destroying the
time
country.
saying, why should we be unbiased now? Why should we give the other side even a say? And I'm like, do you even hear yourself? What is wrong with you?
Right, and I actually should have done that episode.
Soaked in the liquid.
Yeah, I actually should have done that episode today. I was planning on it, and then I forgot. I put a poll out on X, and no one responded to it. And this is how scared people are to respond to polls like this. But my simple question was, if you could get rid of, not get rid of, I didn't even use that strong a language. I said, if overnight the Democratic Party could go away and you would be left with a right-wing uniparty, would you want it or not? And it was a yes or no question. And my answer to that is absolutely not. There's a thing that is known as a necessary evil. And why it's so important to have another side, even though I hate everything they stand for today, everything, absolutely everything. It didn't used to be like that. I didn't used to hate Democrats the way I do
because
today. But the
people
reason
used
that
to
exists,
check each other.
The reason that exists, though, and why it's so important, if you have a uniparty, now you have a totalitarian government that can do anything they want, and they will. It doesn't matter if they're an elephant or a donkey. They're going to come after you, the people, because they have no one else to fight now. What we don't understand about our government and why it's so beautiful is all that time that Democrats and Republicans fight each other in Congress, they're not coming after us, the people, and we're allowed to live our lives free. So that's why it's a beautiful thing.
So far. So far, so good.
So far. I mean, it's better than anything else that's happened in the history of humankind, where governments quickly deteriorate and then they go after their people, and what does that ultimately lead to?
The United States falls.
Genocide of people that don't look or talk like you is what it ultimately leads to.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that? What I just said?
If the United States falls, where else is there?
Yeah.
I mean, we are the freest place to be.
Right.
I mean, to give you one thing, Javier Milei in, Argentina, that he's just turned that thing around?
Yeah.
Well, where do we go if we have to leave here? I'm heading to where he lives. He's turning stuff around over there. I mean, he's doing amazing.
Yeah. No, he's doing
so
a great
funny.
job.
He's such a character, too.
Cheers to him. And he looks like a crazy Beatle. You know the band? He looks like a crazy member of the Beatles.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that guy's smart as hell.
And dating a girl looks like
awesome.
A porn star and all. I mean, he's awesome. He's rocking a leather jacket and stuff, and just he comes in, he's like, okay, 90% of this government can fucking go. I'm done.
Yeah, and he would never be where he's at without Donald Trump. I guarantee you.
Hey, I know, he was the blueprint.
Yeah, Donald Trump, and so I guarantee you Javier was like, man, if Donald Trump can do it in the United States, I can do it here.
Right.
Yep.
They had less rules than we do here because of all the checks and balances. But we have so many unelected bureaus that are just making rules and stuff. Don't tell me what kind of light bulbs I can freaking use.
It's the fourth branch of government. It's unelected bureaucrats making laws, basically, even though they're not laws. But they force you.
Heavily encouraged recommendations.
Do you realize the IRS is just another bureaucracy, and that all the crap they claim as laws are not actual laws?
Taxes weren't supposed to be forever. They were just supposed to get us through a war.
You don't have to pay income taxes. Do you know that? But they will make your life such a living hell in the interim that you'll give up as an individual. They will, that That's how they get away with this stuff in every bureaucracy, every three-letter agency. That's how they get away with this, is because they have the power to make an individual's life so miserable that the individual will eventually comply.
Yeah, because who fights the government? They have so much more money. They have so much more power. They have all those great attorneys except Goldman because he's an ass. He is like the dumbest attorney I've ever seen. When I hear him speak, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Say his name
The
one more
senator
time.
now or whatever.
Say his name one more time.
That Goldman. I want to say Ron, but that might not be right. Goldman, he's a Democrat senator or something. He's always like, well, I'm an attorney and blah, 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 and he represents the Democrats and stuff in court. He's just ridiculous. If you listen to him speak, he's one step above Kamala. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, they're all ridiculous. I see Hakeem Jeffries a lot piping up on X. You know, the
Hakeem.
minority leader of the House.
Just look cute and keep your mouth shut. You know, that's not what they say to chicks sometimes. Just look pretty and keep your mouth shut.
Every time a Democrat is talking, they're lying. That's how bad it's become. Like, RFK Jr. is the only Democrat that I actually respect anymore, out of all of them, because they're all
yeah.
hive
But when
mind.
you get down to what he really wants out of government, it's
I know. No, he has
aligned with the
he has a
extreme
lot of
left.
bad things, but he's
I do like him though for
he's
some
a
reason.
traditional Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Yes,
I agree.
He's a 1960s
True liberal
Democrat. Yeah, he's a 1960s Democrat that is now placed in a 2024 election cycle. That's what I like about
I
it.
cannot believe that they wouldn't give him Secret Service protection. Do you know? I like to go into random places and say, don't you know who I am? But this guy really, he's a freaking Kennedy.
Right. Yeah, it's...
For them not to give him Secret Service protection was just a low freaking blow.
Not a low blow, it's just pure evil. Pure evil. And that's just another thing pointing... And I'm not a big Ted Cruz fan because he's a polished turd. He's a Washington swamp creature. But I will give him a lot of credit in that he is saying the right things now and bringing the right stuff to the forefront, which needs to be done. So I just watched his testimony today engaging the acting Secret Service director. And
the one from a week ago?
Yeah, it was about a week ago now, probably.
Watch that. I like to watch that kind of stuff. It really shows you the right side and the left side, and you can see the way. I mean, everybody's got their bias in there. I mean, basically. Yeah. But you can see how some of them twist it a certain way. Like they totally invert the whole question and turn it into something it wasn't ever supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, he does good in those live hearings for sure.
What I like what Ted Cruz said there, he actually invoked Donald Trump and RFK Jr. in the same sentence with his question on why didn't you give RFK Jr. Secret Service protection and gave Trump limited Secret Service protection. And of course the acting director is sitting there waffling like he will. Because
was he the one that said how many times more do you have, or was that Josh Hawley? Said how many more do you have for Joe Biden versus Donald Trump?
No, that was
one
Cruz.
time, two times, three times. Was it Cruz?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
right.
So what I will give Ted Cruz is that he does have enough balls to say this stuff. He is a polished turd politician. He always has been. You just look at him; he's a total polished turd. But at least he says the right things at the right times too. So we have that. I really like Josh though. Josh is awesome. That guy's gonna pick him apart until there's nothing left.
Josh isn't bad.
Yeah.
My absolute favorite politician is always gonna be Louisiana, Kennedy, Louisiana.
Is that Kennedy?
It's funny. What's his name? Kennedy from Louisiana.
I don't think Kennedy's
Who
from
always makes
Louisiana.
the jokes. I don't think he's part of the Kennedy family.
Yeah, I think.
Oh
it's
gosh, I just tagged him in something.
Is he a gray hair senator? He's old.
Yeah, and he's really funny.
Yeah, no, that's Kennedy. Yeah, I like him a lot too. He's awesome.
Yeah, I
don't know.
just can't
Is he
remember
from
his first name
Louisiana,
right
though?
now.
I thought he was from a different state.
Yes. Oh, he's Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he has that
What the
southern
heck's his
drawl,
first
but he
name?
has a really good sense of humor too, and he just like cuts straight to the core
Yeah.
with his sense of humor. Yeah, I like him a lot. He's awesome.
They were in that very same thing that you watched. Josh Hawley goes, you can't just walk into LA Stadium, the Louisiana Stadium with a flask and you hear Kennedy back in the background. He's like, yeah, I can.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
No,
well, you
that
might
is
be
him.
able to, but never.
Yeah, that's Kennedy. Yeah, he's awesome. I like that guy.
I love him.
He's awesome.
He's the cutest thing. I just want to pinch his cheeks.
He's like, he's everything you ever wanted your grandfather to be. You know?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, because
he's going to give you know, my.
He's borderline dirty. He's like borderline dirty,
right.
But he never crosses that line, and he's still grandpa. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. My stepdad, I didn't meet him until I was an adult, and I swear I'd rather have had him as a dad, to be honest, but he's so awesome. He gave me the best advice I ever heard in my life, and I wish I would have heard it when I was a teenager. He always said, it's better to be the fucker than the fucky. I was like, that's advice a girl could have used a long time ago.
Hey, I can share that sentiment because I have a stepdad now, and we don't ever talk or anything anymore, just because they're on their own, doing their own thing, and that's fine. And like I've chosen not to as well, so it's a two-way street. I'm not saying they don't want to talk to me. It's more from my end.
My brother broke up with me recently too,
however,
so it's okay.
He's like the sweetest, kindest guy I've ever met in my life, and that's the exact opposite of what I grew up under, which was an angry, pissed off man, you know, that just was constantly bringing the hammer down without notice. And so
Mine was
really
mentally abusive type
I really
thing.
appreciate that. And I appreciate that my mom can have someone like that that's gentle.
Exactly. You know what I mean? After all, she whatever I've been through, she's been through worse. I know.
Right. Yeah.
Oh. Now she gets to be happy.
Right. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Like, it comes to a point where you stop worrying so much about yourself, and you're just like, I'm happy that the people that I love are happy. You know?
Right. And you know, I was thinking about that earlier. It's like some people are so angry all the time. Yeah. They're complaining all the time.
I used to be that.
It's like, do you have any... Really?
I would be dead of cancer right. I wouldn't even be here right now if I would have continued down that path, because I would have died of cancer like a decade ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm only 41, so that says a lot. I was a very, very, very angry person for a long time. But for all the wrong reasons. For all the wrong reasons. That whole victim mentality anger. You know what I'm talking about? Like, the world owes me something, so fuck the world attitude. That causes cancer. That'll kill you real quick.
Surprises me about... Oh, no. Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
It's your... And you know what? Once you're an adult, your choice what you do with what trauma you have had.
Right. There comes a point where you just have to stop blaming other people for your shit.
Exactly.
Right.
You'll be so much happier when you take responsibility and you live your life and enjoy the little things that life is too damn short. We can't spend every day thinking about all the bad shit.
Right.
It's going to bring.
And that's literally the difference.
Once we talk about religion, this is going to come in very clear to you.
Right. And that's literally the difference between the left and the right.
Irma.
Like, the left is all victim mentality.
Put good things out,
and the
good
right
things come to you. You put bad. Yes.
Yeah. So the left is all.
Let me
victim
have a beer with you.
Bullshit.
Let's have a good time.
Okay, we're talking over each other. So go ahead and share. Go ahead.
Just have a beer with somebody. Have a good time. Talk. You have more in common than you do apart.
Right.
It's such a weak argument to look at our differences and make decisions based on that. It's such a weak argument.
It's just
Talk
a waste
to
of time
somebody.
and energy.
Listen to somebody.
It's a complete waste of time and energy.
Learn something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I was just sharing this earlier. I don't know if you were in there yet listening, but you know, the First Amendment exists. The primary reason the First Amendment exists is so we can cultivate a learning atmosphere, a debate atmosphere, where
Yes.
we talk, and then we shut up and we listen, and then we process that information from the other party, and then we talk again, and then they process the information that we just shared. That's the whole point. We've come so far away
Back
from
in
that.
high.
Go ahead. Are you still there?
Back in high school, the debate teams, back in high school, the debate teams used to have to pick both sides and argue both sides of an argument.
Right. Right. It's that simple.
That's balance. To argue something that you disagree with, I mean, if you become a lawyer someday, you're going to have to get a job. If your job is defending people that you don't agree with, you're going to have to learn real quick how to agree with what they're saying to win their case, because that's your job.
That's every lawyer. You're never, ever going to come across the perfect client every time, if ever. I mean,
right.
That's what makes us unique as human beings. That's what makes it so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if we were all exactly alike, how boring that would be and how quickly we would all die? Because there's just nothing
I say
to
that
live
all the damn time.
I mean,
I don't want anybody like me. I like being just me.
Right. And it's human nature, too, to always complain about something. The weather being number one.
Sure.
We always complain about the weather. Oh, it's too damn hot. Oh, it's raining today. Oh, it's snowing today. Instead of saying, hey, thank you for it being a beautiful day. You know, that I'm 6 feet above ground instead of 6 feet below ground. You know, that should be our attitude.
It'd be nice also if the weather people would get it right. I mean,
yeah, well, they never will.
I always told my kids that the best job to go into is meteorologist, because you can be wrong all the time and still make a great paycheck.
Oh, yeah. That's a punchline on a movie. That's a punchline on a movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I made that shit up. Damn it.
It's out there somewhere. And that's going to kill me now until I figure it out. Well, we got about...
Tell you what, you're pretty much up against your time, so I'm going to hang up and you go ahead and finish up.
Okay, I'll wrap up. Thanks, Jen. Cheers to you. You're a good friend. I appreciate you.
Cheers to you, too. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you, Jen, for calling in. It's good to know the call-in works. Guess I'll find out if it really works once I watch this in the reverse. I don't just watch my episodes because I'm egotistical, which I am. I'm just going to be honest. But I watch them because I want to provide you guys the best experience, and my audio's been lacking, my video's been lacking, but you know what? Trial and error. It takes trial and error to make it really shine. Get to that point where it really shines, and then I won't have to watch every episode all the time, even though I probably still will because I'm egotistical. But yeah, I mean, we're up against time, so 15 seconds. We'll just call it quits tonight. I will wrap up the First Amendment tomorrow. God bless everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and hug your loved ones. If you don't have loved ones, go get a pet. Cheers. Love you.